Greetings and welcome once again to Hobart-Detter Field in Hutchinson, Kansas. It's time for Hutchinson Community College Baseball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Coming up, the second game of this Jayhawk West doubleheader featuring the Hutchinson Blue Dragons and the Pratt Beavers. A slightly winded Steve Carpenter back with you at Hobart-Detter Field. Hutchinson won the first game by the score of 7-1. Mike Brown throwing a complete game victory for his fifth win of the year, 5-1 now. Now the Dragons look to keep pace in the Jayhawk West as they battle for a home playoff spot. So the Blue Dragons getting set to take on the Beavers here in game number 2. It'll be a righty versus lefty matchup. Dylan Nedved, 3-0 coming in for the Blue Dragons, facing Declan Steele, for the Pratt Beavers. Let's get to the lineups. First for Pratt here in game number 2. Now 15-30, 7-22 in the league as the Dragons take the field. Leading off will be Ellery Rivera playing shortstop, batting second. The catcher, Gage Axline. Ashton Roy bats third at first base. Batting fourth is a designated hitter, Sean Johnson. Eric Escamilla bats fifth at third base. Right fielder, Keaton Gage bats sixth. Second baseman, Kenneth Gonzalez bats seventh. Ben Van Diest bats eighth and plays left field. And Darian Aldridge bats ninth in center. Declan Smith, again, the starting pitcher, a left-hander for the Beavers. Real quickly for the Blue Dragons, Schaefer in center, Sartori at second, Divis at third, Morganson in left, Stevens in center, Baxley at first base, Rip in right field, Nedved the pitcher, Crit Williams getting the start at shortstop. And that's the lineup for the Blue Dragons. Now a season high, 11 games over 500 to 28-17, 14-11 in league play. Dragons, they're not getting any help from afar. Cloud County was a 4-1 winner over Barton. And Colby, the team Hutchinson's tied with for fourth place in the Jayhawk West, currently leading Dodge City in game 1, 8-1. So Dylan Nedved making his third start, 3-0 with a 2.70 ERA. Dylan on for the 12th time all told. He also has a couple of saves as he started the year as one of the two closers. 20 innings pitched, 15 hits, 9 runs, 6 earned. He struck out 21 and walked 7. And opponents hitting 197 against. The Beavers were held to 3 hits and 1 run by Mike Brown in game number 1. They came into the afternoon hitting .323. So here we go, game number 2, about set to get underway. Dylan Nedved into the line, the pitch. Low ball 1. First pitch coming at 3:21. What has become a very beautiful afternoon here at Hobart-Detter Field. Strike called, and it's 1-1. There's a high chopper to short. Crit Williams on a big hop. Low throw, and then once again, Zach Baxley showing a nice glove over at first. Digs that throw out, one away. Now catcher Gage Axline. Axline was the designated hitter in game number 1. Went 2 for 3. Had 2 of the 3 hits off of Brown. Nedved's pitch. Fastball, a strike at the knees. Nedved's made 2 starts, 1 in conference play April 7th against Garden City. Took a no decision and an 8-5 loss. The Dragons had come all the way around. Comebacker hits Nedved in the leg and then glances away to Sartori. Underhand flip. Did they get him? Yes! So a line shot up the leg of Nedved, and good hustle by Sartori to chase it down. Then in one motion, flip it to Baxley. A 1-4-3 put out at first. Nedved seems to be okay, and there's 2 away here in the first inning. Now, Mike Lentz, the home plate umpire, is going to go check on Dylan just to make sure. Actually, Eric Thompson wanted to talk with the base umpire, Ryan Stork. I didn't see Eric Thompson over there. I think they're just making sure. No, they call him safe. They say the throw came off or made him come off. So it'll be a throwing error charged to Crit Williams, and now Ryan Schmidt's going to come out and get an explanation. I didn't think there was any problem about Zach holding the bag at all. Initially, Ryan Stork called Axline out at first. No, they say the throw pulled him off. That's an error. So it'll be an error charge to Sartori. An unfortunate turn of events there for the Dragons. So now it's, instead of bases empty 2 away, it's 1 on, 1 out for first baseman Ashton Roy. Nedved starts with a fastball high, so I might have Brandon Sams look back on the stream just to see if he held the bag. I didn't think there was any question that Zach Baxley held the bag. The pitch, way outside, 2-0. Nedved as the starters worked 10 innings, allowed 8 hits, 6 runs all earned. Struck out 11 and walked 4. Runner fakes going, and it's a foul tip into the glove of Garrett Stevens for a strike, and it's 2-1. Pitch to Nedved, a fastball for a strike, 2-2. Mike Lentz behind the plate, ran Stork in the bases for game number 2. Our umpires today. Now the 2-2 from Nedved. Ground ball left side, diving stop by Williams. He knocks it down, but there won't be a play. That'll be an infield single. Now we'll see if Crit's okay. Pratt had kind of a strange start to its first game. A little bloop single by Rivera, and then Axline glanced one off the glove of the pitcher, Mike Brown. It bounced to Dylan Nedved, who was playing short, didn't win the race to the bag for the force, and then he threw it away and allowed runners from up to second and third. Pratt ended up only scoring 1 run in the inning. Now Sean Johnson, who had the RBI fielder's choice in that first inning, to give Pratt its short-lived 1-0 lead. Johnson was 0 for 3 with an RBI. Nedved delivers a strike at the knees. So Axline, a few moments ago, hit one off the glove of, or the leg of Nedved. Swing and a miss, 0-2. It went to his left, and Logan Sartori charged hard, grabbed it, and flipped it to first. But on appeal, our home plate umpire Mike Lentz said Zach Baxley pulled the foot. Pitch in the dirt, 1-2. Out at softball at Fun Valley, Hutch scores 4 in the bottom of the first and leads Sterling JV 4-0 after 1. The pitch, lifted foul out of play to the right into the Hobart-Detter parking lot. Pretty good crowd on hand. Again, it's SGA day here at the ballpark. Hot dogs being given to students and friends of the Blue Dragons. Pratt had a big feed going on downstairs as well. 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. Swing and a miss for a strikeout. Out number 2. Good pitch from Nedved, 2 away. Barton has jumped on top of Cloud County in game number 2, leading 5-1. after 1 inning. So that's a good start for the Blue Dragons there. Cloud owns the direct tiebreaker, or excuse me, Hutchinson owns the direct tiebreaker over Cloud County. Pitch low and in. That's ball 1 to Escamilla. Over Cloud we do.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of Colby.
Colby owns the tiebreaker over the Dragons. If Hutchinson wins, then there shouldn't be much of an issue. 1-0. Swing and a miss late on that fastball. Good pitch from Nedved. And it's 1-1 to Escamilla, who is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in game number 1. First and second, 2 away. The pitch. Strike called, 1-2. Good pitch on the outside corner. Nedved, a fastball, change-up type pitcher. We'll mix a curveball in every once in a while. 1-2 pitch. Escamilla fouls it off and it stays 1-2. Last week in Lee Summit, Missouri, Nedved earned a victory in an 11-6 Hutchinson win. Went 5 innings, allowed 4 hits, 4 runs, struck out 5 and walked 3. Now the 1-2. High chopper right side. Logan Sartori has it over to Baxley at first, and the inning is over, and the bizarre call overturned does not come back to haunt Hutchinson. No runs, a hit, an error, and 2 left. After a half inning, it's Pratt nothing, and the Blue Dragons coming up. Left-hander Declan Smith taking his warm-up tosses for the Pratt Beavers. Smith, a freshman from Semaphore, Australia. Smith on the year, a 1-1 record with a 7.59 earned run average, making his 7th start. 21 in the 3rd innings pitched, 26 hits allowed, 23 runs, 18 earned. He has struck out 20 and walked 9 and allowed 2 home runs. Facing a Blue Dragon team that is now hitting .315 for the year. .334 over its last 10. And .286 in conference play. Brock Schaefer, Logan Sartori, and Wyatt Divis will lead it off. Brock Schaefer, 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. He now has 7 RBIs and 6 hits in his last 2 games. A team high 12-game hitting streak currently going on for Brock. 22 for 44 with 15 RBIs over that stretch. He took care of business in the first game, extending the streak to 12 with a first inning single. And then he had the big blow of the game, a 2-run opposite field double in Hutchinson's 4-run 4th inning. That broke open a 1-1 tie. So Dragons against left-handed pitching this year, hitting .333, .261 against lefties. Pitch taken downstairs for ball 1. Check that again. .274 against lefties, .329 against righties. I was reading the pitching ones. Pitch back to the screen, and it's 2-0 to Schaefer. Schaefer, sophomore out of Vandale. He's been on a tear as of late. Line to right field. This may hang up, though, for Keaton Gage, and he's got it one away. Schaefer hit it on a line, but right at the right fielder. One away for second baseman Logan Sartori. Sartori extended his hitting streak to 7. 10 for 28 over that streak with a 1 for 2 performance in game number 1. Sartori, a team high 364 364 batting average, 60 total hits, 9 home runs, 47 driven in. He has scored 57 runs, by far the way the team leader. Ground ball up the first base line, fair, fielded by Ashton Roy, and there's 2 away. Now Wyatt Divis. Divis had a 2-hit game, a couple of singles, drove in 2. 2 for 4 in game number 1. Now 103 career hits for Divis. 353 batting average for the season, 10 home runs, 39 RBIs, 12 doubles and 10 home runs, slugging .716, on base with .528. Div hitting .387 against lefties this season. Smith paints the outside corner for a strike. Pratt got a couple on in the top of the first and couldn't score. The wind in the pitch is lifted high and deep to left field. Van Diesbach, this has got a chance. Gone. Bounced off the new building out there in left field and came back onto the field to play. That robbed one of the construction workers of a souvenir, but that breaks a 9-game homerless streak for Divis. Now a team high 11 home runs, drove in his 40th run of the year, and Hutchinson has a 1-0 lead. That is home run number 63 for the Dragons as Bobby Morganson steps in and Declan Smith misses one in the dirt for ball 1. Bobby had a 5-game hitting streak snapped in the first game, 0 for 2 with a couple of walks and a run scored. Hitting .331, and he sends one through into left field for a base hit. His first hit of the series. 2 away with the runner at first for Garrett Stevens, the catcher. That, if you're the Blue Dragons, is a good sign. Divis going to left center or left field, and now Morganson shooting one the other way through the gap. Both of their powers, when they're really going well, goes to left center. Now Garrett Stevens. Garrett 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, hitting .306. He sends one to center field, down for a hit. Morganson will hesitate, now head to third and make it safely. 3 straight hits after 2 are out, and that snaps a 4 for 23 for Garrett Stevens. Now Zach Baxley. On Monday, the Dragons executed a pair of double steals for runs. They executed one kind of in the game previous to this one. The throw down to second went into center field, allowing Morganson to score. First pitch to Baxley is taken high, ball 1. Baxley 0 for 2 with a strikeout, hit by a pitch, and stole a base in the first game. Bax hitting .333 for the year, 3 home runs, and has 28 RBIs. Soft toss over to first. Garrett Stevens, not to be confused with one of the team's best base stealers on the team, dives back with a head first attempt. Garrett 0 for 1 in the stolen bases. 2-0 to Baxley on a pitch high. This inning started off quietly. Schaefer and Sartori are both retired, but since Divis hit a home run, and Morganson and Stevens have both singled. 3-0 now to Baxley. The wind and the pitch. Outside ball 4, and the Dragons have him loaded with 2 out. First walk issued by Declan Smith. Gage Axline's going to go out and talk to him as Julian Rip will be the batter. Rip now on a 4-game hitting streak, 6 for his last 9. Rip 1 for 3 with a couple of runs scored in the first game. The average has climbed to 284 with 19 total hits, 5 home runs, 22 RBIs. Rip over his last 8 games hitting at a 467 clip, 7 for 15. In the dirt, ball 1. Morganson at third, Stevens at second, Baxley at first. Rip did strike out a couple of times in game number 1. The pitch. Strike called. It's 1-1. Blue Dragon track and field team at the KU Relays, showing well. Adriana Yannick, a multiple-time All-American and 3-time national champion, won the long jump. Way outside and high, 2-1. Richard Smith finished second in the men's high jump up in Lawrence today. A lot more action going on tomorrow as well as the remainder of the day. A lot of Dragons up there. The pitch. Rip takes it for a ball, 3-1. Very significant battle going on in the Jayhawk East. Fort Scott defeats Cowley in a battle of the top 2 teams in the East. That ball is hit well and deep to left field. This has a chance. And that's a grand slam for Julian Rip. Rip with his 6th home run of the year, his first career grand slam. He's 23, 24, 25, and 26. And the Dragons, all with 2 out, have jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Five runs on 4 hits, 2 home runs. And now Dylan Nedved, the pitcher, the 8th batter of the inning. Nedved in the first game, 2 for 3, including a double. Second on the team with 59 hits. That pitch bounces in. A .360 batting average, 3 home runs, 24 RBIs. And Tyler Beathard, the pitching coach, is going to go talk to Declan Steele. So again, the first 2 batters, Schaefer and Sartori, were retired. Divis Hobart, Morganson singled. Stevens singled. Baxley walked to load the bases, and then Julian Rip launches a grand slam to give the Blue Dragons a 5-0 lead here in the first. An announcement made by Denny Steckline has the dugout in a lather. So Colby wins 8-1 in Game 1 at Dodge City. So the Game 1s are now complete as it's 2-0 to Nedved.
Took Game 1 over Garden.
What was that score?
9-5. And in the middle of 4,
Seward County won their first game at Garden City 9-5, which puts Pratt in a very precarious situation. They're going to have to win their last 3 and Seward lose their last 7 to make the playoffs. So the Beavers, pretty tough trouble right now, already losing a game in this series and down 5-0 here in the first of game 2. Ball 3 to Nedved, 3-1. So as it stands now, Barton 18-7, Butler at 18-10. They have the bye this week. They're playing Longview this weekend. Changeup swung through and missed, and it's a full count now to Nedved. With Clouds win, they're 15-10. Hutchinson and Colby's wins, they're now 14-11. That's lined over the second baseman into right center for a hit. It is now 6 straight that have reached since there were 2 out. Nedved with his 3rd hit of the series, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Crit Williams. Crit didn't play in game number 1, although that we mentioned that he did. I mentioned it on the lineups, and Denny and I are taking some heat from the dugout. I take full responsibility for it. Ball 1 to Crit. Williams hitting 143, 4 for 28, and has a couple of RBIs. Here's the pitch. Going outside, ball 2. So now the top 5 teams in the league have opened up a little more space on the bottom 4. Dodge at 11-14, Garden at 10-15. Seward at 9-16, Pratt at 7-22. Ball 3 to Crit Williams. Dragons will close out with Seward County 2 next Thursday at Brent Gould Field in Liberal, and a week from Saturday right here at Hobart-Detter. Here's the cripple. And there for a strike. Williams taking all the way. The Dragons coming into the game with 2 outs, hitting .288 for the year. They now have 113 2-out RBIs. Rip has 12 2-out RBIs now with that grand slam. Here's 3-1. Swung on and missed as Smith took something off of it, and the count is full at 3-2. So Dylan Nedved will be moving on the pitch, 3-2, 2 out. Cloud now taking a 6-5 lead over Barton in game 2 in Great Bend. That's not good news if you're a Blue Dragon. Runners go, the pitch. Williams fights it off to the right. And we'll reset and do it again. So those are your scores up to date. After 3 innings out of Fun Valley. First, a high chopper along the third base line that goes foul by Williams. We'll reset and do it again. Raven Bass with a 2-run double. Excuse me, with an RBI double with 2 outs to score Bree Johnson. Hutch softball leads Sterling 5-0 after 2. A lot of Blue Dragon action on this, what has turned out to be a gorgeous Thursday afternoon. One of the rare runs of spring 2018. Spring 2018 has been rare in and of itself. Smith comes set, runner goes, and it's pitches outside, ball 4. And it's now 7 in a row that have reached since the second out was recorded, and Brock Schaefer will be the batter. And I think we're going to have a pitching change as this is the second trip to the mound. Declan Smith will last just 2/3 of an inning, and we'll tell you about the new Pratt pitcher after this break. Left-hander Quentin Comptar out of Alberta, Canada. They don't list a hometown, Alberta being the province. Comes out of the bullpen for Coach Eric Thompson as Declan Smith goes just 2/3 of an inning. He got the first two batters in Schaefer and Sartori, and Wyatt Dibbas with a solo home run, singles by Morganson and Stevens, and a walk to Zach Baxley to load him up. Julian Ripp hit a grand slam, and then Dylan Nedved singled. Crit Williams walked. The Dragons have batted around here in the first. The numbers on Kopchar, on for the 18th time. 15th in relief, 1-4 record with 1 save and a 7.75 earned run average. 33 2/3 innings pitcher Kopchar. He's allowed 46 hits, 38 runs, 29 earned. He has struck out 24 and walked 19 and has allowed 6 home runs. Brock Schaefer lined out to right fielder Keaton Gage, hit it right on the screws. Earlier this inning to lead it off. Schaefer now 2 for 4 in the series. Runners at first and second, 2 away and 5 already across. Kopchar misses somewhere for ball 1. They're not holding Williams on at first. The pitch, a little bit low, 2-0. Again, Declan Smith, 2/3 of an inning. The runners on first and second are his responsibility. 5 runs, all earned, 5 hits. Walked 1. The pitch. Schaefer takes a shot to left and fouls it off. There's the pitch. Hit well to center field. Aldridge to his left. Tracks it down and makes the catch, and the inning is over. Schaefer gets 2 of the 3 outs in the inning, but the Dragons send 10 to the plate and score 5. 5 runs, 5 hits, and 2 left on after an inning. It's 5-0 Hutchinson. Five nothing Dragons. Solo home run by Wyatt Dibbas and a grand slam by Julian Ripp. And stake Dylan Nedved to a 5-run lead as we enter the top of the second inning. Dragons currently a season high 11 games over 500 to 28-17, 14-11 in league play. As they battle for a home Region 6 series, those happen in 2 weeks. But plenty of baseball to be played before then. Keaton Gage to lead off the Pratt second. And it's ball 1 from Nedved. Nedved allowed a single. Another runner reached on an error. And 1 strike on a 21-pitch first inning. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Pitch a little bit high, 2-1. Before Nedved was moved into the rotation, he made 9 appearances in relief and did not allow an earned run over that time. It's a swing and a foul ball by Gage, and it's 2-2. He allowed 2 unearned runs in his Blue Dragon debut on February 16th in Northeast Texas. And another unearned run against Cloud on March 9th. The pitch. Fouled off again. He picked up saves against Redlands on February 28th in the 13-5 win, but he came in when it was just a 2-run game. The Dragons exploded late. His second save came April 5th against Garden City in a 9-8 come from behind win. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Nedved, 1 away here in the second, excuse me. And they'll bring up the second baseman, Kenneth Gonzalez. Gonzalez was the catcher in game number 1. 0 for 3 was Gonzalez. And Pratt came into the afternoon hitting .323 as a team. Good swing by Gonzalez, fouled back into the parking lot. Nice located fastball from Nedved for a strike outside corner at the knees, and it's 0-2. Garrett Stevens tried to frame it. Mike Lentz wouldn't bite. Good location on 0-2. That's now 1 and 2 strikes to Gonzalez. Same pitch, same location, same call now, 2-2. High chopper down the third base line, but it goes foul. So we mentioned the Reller family feud, or the family civil war going on. Blue Dragon pitching coach Scott Reller and Pratt assistant coach Todd Reller are brothers. Right now, with that Game 1 win, Scott has an 18-0 lead on Todd in head-to-head matchups. 2-2 pitch. And on the hands, and it's fouled off by Gonzalez, and it remains 2-2. Scott and I love to give each other all kinds of grief when it comes to hockey. 2-2 pitch in the dirt, full count. I'm a devout Chicago Blackhawks fan. Scott from Missouri is a devout St. Louis Blues fan. Of course, neither team made the playoffs this year. Payoff pitch. Pulled to third. Big hop for Wyatt Divis. Strong throw over. Pulls him wide. That'll be a throwing error on Divis. The second error of the game charged to the Blue Dragons. And the 96th of the season. 58th in conference play. So an error charged to Divis on a throwing error. Here's Ben Van Diest. Didn't play in game number 1. Van Diest hitting from the left side. 267 hitter, 16 for 60, a home run, 10 RBI, 4 doubles and 2 triples, 7 total extra base hits. Pitch slice foul. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. And it's very quickly 0-2. Van Diest out of Eudora, Kansas. There's only one. Runner goes. The pitch is popped up in the infield. Second baseman Logan Sartori, and it stayed up long enough for Gonzalez to get back. He was all the way to second base. Van Diest sits at a mile high. Now 2 away for center fielder Darian Aldridge. Aldridge 0 for 2 with a strikeout in game number 1. Another one of the center fielders. He can go gap to gap pretty well in this Jayhawk West. The pitch, showing bunt, takes high ball. One snap throw to first. Back in safely is Gonzalez. Garrett Stevens throwing out 32% of would-be base stealers. Pratt 93 for 115 for the season as a team. High chopper up the middle. Crit Williams charges Fields. And then nonchalant, a backhanded throw to second. Everybody's going to be safe. That's going to be... Yeah, you almost have to give it a hit because it was such a high chopper. It'll be an infield single for Aldridge. Once Crit fielded it, I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to do. Tried to backdoor him. Good assessment by Denny Steckline. Ball 1 to Ellery Rivera. Grounded out to Crit Williams his first time. Strike at the knees, 1-1. Denny was saying that they weren't going to get the runner at first, so Crit was trying to lull Gonzalez into rounding the bag, and so he threw behind him, trying to get Gonzalez napping. Just an awkward-looking play, no error charged. Pratt now has 2 hits in the game, and it's a 2-1 count on Rivera. That's up the middle. Williams bobbles it, and everybody's going to be safe. The Dragons' 3rd error of the first couple of innings. Fielding defense continues to be an issue. That is now 97 errors for the year. Crit committing his 6th, and now it's full of Dragons and 2 outs. And Ryan Schmidt's going to get everybody together. And for one of the few times, I don't think this will be a one-on-one directed right at his pitcher. 3 errors in the game, 2 here in the inning. One a throwing error and one a fielding error. Butler in a non-conference game defeats Longview 10-5. Grizzlies now 27-15, but that's not a conference decision. Butler at second place at 18-10. Again, Pratt will conclude their conference season at the end of this series. They will have finished off their 32-game conference set. Now 7-22. Seward County 9-16. And the Dragons play Seward County next week. So now here's Gage Axline. 2 hits in the first game, and he reached on an error on a reversed call. Pitch in the dirt. Ball 1. Axline hit a line drive off the leg of Dylan Nedved that Logan Sartori had to charge hard and come and get. Then he underhand flipped and initially called out. Pitch a little bit low, ball 2. Now we see the strike zone of Mike Lentz much smaller than that of Ryan Stork. But once Eric Thompson, the Pratt head coach, there's a strike, 2-1. Once Eric Thompson came out and asked for Ryan Stork to get some assistance from Lentz, the call was overturned, and the call had to be an error on Logan Sartori, saying that they pulled him off. Pitch outside, 3-1. It didn't miss by much. High chopper along third, fielded by Divis, takes his time, pours it across in time, and the inning is over. So the 2 errors close to haunting Hutchinson, but they come away scoreless. Pratt, no runs, 1 hit, 2 errors, and they leave the bases loaded after an inning and a half. It's Hutchinson 5 and Pratt nothing. Out at Fun Valley, Blue Dragon softball explodes for 8 runs in the bottom of the third. Still hitting with 2 outs in the third, leading Sterling 14-0. Those are rain makeups from early April. And that's weird to say rain makeups when we are in as big a drought as we are in Kansas. Logan Sartori, Wyatt Davis, Bobby Morganson to face relief pitcher Quentin Kopjar, who came in to replace Declan Smith after 2/3 of an inning. Dragons with a 5-0 lead and look to extend it here. And the Saturday's games at Stanyon Field and Pratt in jeopardy because of the weather. Likely will be moved to Sunday, but that decision will be made. Sartori hits one high and deep to right field, but Gage, the right fielder, slows down just short of the track to make the catch one away. So we'll know more tomorrow on the status of Saturday's games. They will definitely not be played tomorrow. Now Wyatt Davis hit his 10th home run his last time up. Dragons about hit Pratt 5-2. Keep up to date with any of the schedule changes on Blue Dragons social media. Davis hits one toward the hot dog stand over there.
Good instincts come with a small child.
Strike one to Davis. Kopjar hits the inside corner for a strike, 0-2. Davis in his last 10 now, 10 for 37 with a couple of home runs and 9 RBIs. Takes a shot to left and fouls it off. First game, Pratt was the first team to score. Now the Dragons are 15-11 when the opponent scores first. When they score first, they're 13-6. Davis spoils that Kopjar offering. Not shocking, but the Dragons have been outscored in the first inning. Curveball called, strike 3 at the letters. 2 up, 2 down here in the second for Bobby Morganson. A Thack. Will Thacker, former Blue Dragon offensive lineman, who was slinging the hot dogs down on the grill. Ball 1 to Bobby. Morganson in conference play hitting .298, 25 for 80, now 26 for 85. Ball 2 to Bobby. The pitch. Up high for a ball, 3-0. The Dragons scored all 5 runs in the first with 2 out. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Morganson. Bobby walks for the team-high 40th time this year. That's another reason why he's not driving in as many runs. He's not seeing as many hittable pitches. We talked earlier about, had some fans asked me why Bobby's not driving in as many runs. Well, one of the issues was, not so much issues, but Logan Sartori has grabbed a team-high 47 runs, hitting 2 spots ahead of him. And the fact that he has walked now a team-high 40 times. Check swing roller by Garrett Stevens, fielded by Ashton Roy. Easy play to the bag, and the inning is over. Dragons lead 1 after 2. Hutchinson 5 and Pratt 0. Ashton Roy leads off to Pratt third, 5-0 Hutch. Steve Carpenter with you here on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. And it's ball one from Dylan Nedved. Nedved's had to deal with some base runners, but he's kept Pratt off the board through 2 innings. Roy singled his first time up. He fouls that one off. Nedved 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks, but he's been the victim of 3 errors so far. It's a little bit low, 2-1. Roy in the first game 0 for 2 with a walk. It's a little squibber to third, charging his Divis. He fields, throws, and gets him out. Nice play. That time Zach did hold the bag. Good play by a charging Wyatt Divis and a strong throw, 1 away for designated hitter Sean Johnson, who struck out his first time. Barton and Cloud 6-6 after 2 in Great Bend. I think most of those Saturday doubleheaders are in jeopardy, as most of the state is supposed to see some measurable precipitation. There's a strike. Good precipitation. Let me prep it. Good precipitation. That actually might do some good. 1-1 the count. Danny Steckline makes a good point. Anything is measurable. To Hopper through Crit Williams, and that's his second error of the game. 4 errors now for the Blue Dragons.
Oh, yeah. There you go. I saw the color there, and I was like, huh. I just got back from Ireland. He was just there.
1 on, 1 out for third baseman Eric Escamilla. Escamilla struck out in 3 appearances, or 3 plate appearances in game number 1. Grounded to Logan Sartori's last time up. First pitch swinging is fouled off to the left.
She's hidden that she has to hold the camera.
Yeah, I can see your reservations right now. Yeah.
Move over to first by Nedved. Pratt turned 2 double plays in the first game. The Dragons have yet to turn a double play, and this year have only turned 30. Ball's well hit to center field and deep. Back goes Brock Schaefer. He turns and makes the catch just short of the track for out number 2. Escamilla gave it a ride, but Schaefer equal to the task. A runner at first, 2 away for right fielder Keaton Gage. Gage struck out swinging his first time. Now 0 for 4 in the series. Pitch taken for a strike. Although anything can happen in Kansas, 2 weeks ago, we had snow on the field 6 hours prior to game time. We played that afternoon. Nedved misses upstairs, ball 1. State of Kansas could use plenty of rain. And severe drought situation all over the state. Nedved misses high again. He's right around the plate, just not getting a ton of calls. 61 pitches, 39 for strikes. Pitch inside, and it's 3-1. Nedved hasn't walked a batter yet, in danger of doing so here. And he does. A walk and an error here in the third. Pratt has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 base runners. Now second baseman Kenneth Gonzalez, who reached on an error. That's their baseman Wyatt Divis, a throwing error that pulled Zach Baxley off the bag. So Pratt has him first and second, 2 out. First pitch swing is driven high and deep to center field. Schaefer going back, slowing down just short of the track. He's got it, and the inning is over. So the Beavers have had 7 on base,
And they've stranded 7 through 3 innings after 2.5. Dragons 5 and the Beavers nothing. Out at Fun Valley, it winds up being an 11-run third inning for the Blue Dragon softball team. And they lead Sterling JV 16-0 going to the top of the fourth. Here are the Blue Dragons, 5-0 lead over Pratt. Bottom of the third. Zach Baxley to lead it off, followed by Julian Ripp and Dylan Nedved, the lower third, or 6, 7, and 8 here in the order. Baxley lines one to left field for a hit. 6th hit of the game for Hutchinson. Baxley's been on base twice. (10 through 12). First hit allowed by Quentin Kopjar. Now Julian Ripp, who hit a grand slam his last time up. Now 6 home runs on the year for Julian. Takes a pitch low and outside, ball 1. Safely over at first by Baxley. The left-hander kicks and fires. The runner goes, and Rip hits one to center field, but playable low for Darian Aldridge. He makes the catch, and speeding back to first is Baxley, 1 away here in the third. Jamel Cervantes putting the hit and run on. Now Dylan Nedved working on a 3-hit afternoon. 1 for 1 in this one. Baxley's the first Dragon in this game to reach as a leadoff hitter. Kopjar comes set now, delivers a breaking pitch for a strike to Nedved. With that hit, now Dylan Nedved once again tied with Logan Sartori for the team leading hits with 60. Late on that fastball. Nedved's down to the count, 0-2. Nedved in conference play, now 39 for 105 with 367 average. And one shot down the right field line, but it's going to hook foul into the Pratt bullpen. As of yesterday morning, there was a little question whether we'd be playing here. We had a light pole snap off and that high wind on Tuesday night. Did not land in the field to play. It's the light pole to the outfield side of the first base dugout. Nedved fouls that one off, remains 0-2. It landed on the first base side restrooms. The building is severely damaged. The field itself was never in any danger. Play, or the decision to play early was made rather early. Move over to first. Baxley with the first head first dive in. See you, Thack. Here's a pitch. Hard hit ball through the second baseman into right field. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. It was a hard hit ball right at Gonzalez. But it'll be an error charge to the Pratt second baseman, the first of the game for Pratt. Hutchinson's committed 4. Baxley at second now. 2 on, 1 out for Crit Williams. Crit walked his first time. He lines one down the right field line, foul by a foot. Crit definitely taking a shot to right field. Just miss extra bases. Williams 4 for 28 this season. He's making his 8th start, 23rd game played. Roy's behind the runner at first and Nedved. Here's the pitch. Taking a little bit low and it's 1-1. Dodge City and Colby 0-0 after 1 inning at Cavalier Field in Dodge City in game number 2. Williams runs up to bunt but takes high for a ball and it's 2-1. Colby won the first game 8-1. Colby and Hutchinson currently tied for 4th, but Colby owns the head-to-head tiebreaker with the Blue Dragons. I know a lot of scoreboard watching going on. 2-1 pitch. Is lifted to left center field. On the run is Aldridge. He keeps and it drops in for a hit. Now stumbling around third is Baxley, and he's unable to score, so a bloop single by Crit Williams loads him up. And it's back to the top of the order and Brock Schaefer. I'm not sure if Ben Van Diest ever saw it. He had a much shorter run to that ball than Darian Aldridge did, but Aldridge is the one that laid out. He's kind of holding his back like he may have pulled something, but he's going back into position, and Brock Schaefer will be the batter. So Crit Williams gets his 5th hit of the year. Baxley couldn't go very far to make sure the ball was or wasn't caught. Ball 1 to Schaefer. Schaefer's lined out to right field and then hit a long fly ball to center, both in the first inning. He had 2 of the 3 outs in that 5-run first inning where 10 batters came to the plate. Schaefer hits one to left center field. On the run is Aldridge, still coming on. It lands in between 2 players. Baxley scores. Here comes Nedved. He will score. Stopping at third is Williams. It's a 2-run double for Brock Schaefer. That is now 9 RBIs in his last 3 games, and Brock Schaefer has a 13-game hitting streak, the longest by any Dragon this year. And again, Ben Van Diest had the much shorter run, and it was Darian Aldridge nearly getting over there to make the catch. So now here's Sartori. First pitch swinging, hits one down the right field line, but it's going to hook out of play. Sartori 0 for 2. 1 for 4 in the doubleheader. Flew out to right and then grounded out to the first baseman, Ashton Roy. So Schaefer, now with his 10th double of the year, RBIs 32 and 33. Ball to Sartori 1-1. Sartori swings and fouls that one off. Schaefer now with a team-high 16 RBIs over Hutchinson's last 10 games played. Coming with 7 doubles and 3 triples. That pitch gets through the catcher. Coming down the line to score is Williams. It'll be a wild pitch. Moving up to third is Schaefer, and it's 8-0. With the Stanley Cup playoffs going on, that is considering going right through the 5-hole. Still just 1 away in the inning. And it's 3-2 to Sartori. 3 runs across. And the Dragons have taken full control of this one. The infield in for the Beavers. Lefty kicks and fires, and Sartori hits one to left center field. On the run is Van Diest. He's got it, tagging, and will score with ease as Brock Schaefer, and it's 9-0. Logan Sartori with his team-high 7th sack fly of the year, RBI number 48. And the Dragons make it a 4-run inning and a 9-run lead. Base is empty, 2 away for Wyatt Divis. That run will be unearned. 2 of the 4 runs in this inning are unearned. The pitch. Outside, ball 1 to Divis. Ball 2. Compter's now thrown 37 pitches in the equivalent of 2 innings. Dib takes a shot to left and fouls it off. 2-1. Wyatt so far, a solo home run. That started the scoring in the first, and then he took a called third on a slow breaking pitch that caught him at the letters in his last time up. Try that slow, same breaking pitch, hits it down the left field line. Van Diest giving chase. Also the shortstop Rivera, but it lands in the Dragon bullpen. No runs for Sterling JV in the top of the 4th out at Fun Valley. The Dragons leading 16-0. They're well on their way to a run rule victory in Game 1 of that rain makeup doubleheader. It'll be their 30th win. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball in the left field for a base hit. It's now 9 hits. Another opposite field single for Divis. He's got 2 hits in the afternoon, 2 for 3, and it'll be Bobby Morganson, the batter. Also, I want to give congratulations to Blue Dragon softball coach Jamie Rose, who last week won her 400th with the Blue Dragons. And there's some polite golf applause coming out of the Dragon dugout. Any idea what the golf applause was for, guys? Here's a pitch. Inside to Morganson. Bobby's 1 for 1. A single and a walk and a run scored. He's now hit safely in 6 of his last 7. Copter's pitch. Strike on the inside corner. And by Bobby's reaction, he didn't agree with that call from Mike Lentz. 1-1 Morganson. Pitching on the hand, and Bobby fouls it off 1-2. Dragons will have a midweek at Redlands Community College next Tuesday, and then round out the regular season with Seward County next Thursday at Brent Goldfield and Liberal. And Saturday here, there's a shot high and deep right center field, and it is off the base of the wall. Divis will be sent home. There's going to be a play at the plate. The throw's up the line. The run scores. Morganson heads up to third. That'll be a double RBI and a throwing error. And Morganson, with his 13th double year, drives in RBI number 38, and the Dragons lead at 10-0. So a double to Morganson and an error charge to the shortstop on the relay throw. And Garrett Stevens will be the batter. That error will be charged to second baseman Kenneth Gonzalez on the throw. So the Dragons continue to do damage with 2 outs. Divis scores from first. So 10-0 Dragons here in the third. Garrett Stevens 1 for 2. Takes a breaking pitch inside ball. Riley Hill, a right-hander from Buckner, Missouri, now throwing in the Pratt bullpen. as this one has gotten away from the Beavers. They may not hit 10-2. Garrett takes a little bit low. It's 3-0. Dragons have won 6 straight, 9 of their last 11. Ball 4 to Garrett Stevens. So the inning continues. Zach Baxley will be the batter as the Dragons have batted around for the second time in 3 innings. Baxley singled to lead off this inning. Came around to score. Zach's been on base twice, scored a pair, walked in the first and scored, singled and walked, or scored in the third. Strike 1 from Quentin Kopjar. Dragons have now out-hit Pratt 10-2. Downstairs for a ball. County was 1-1. Trying to monitor several different things going on right now. Strike calling is 1-2 to Baxley. KU track team at the KU Relays at the New Rock Chalk Park. I believe that's the 3rd year. The relays have not been contested at Memorial Stadium. Chopper to third, fielded by Escamilla. He pours it across, and the inning is over. So for the second time in 3 innings, the Dragons send 10 to the plate and score 5. 5 runs, 5 hits, 2 Pratt errors, and 2 left. And after 3 innings, it is now Hutchinson 10 and Pratt nothing. Update from Fun Valley. Blue Dragon softball tacks on 3 more in the bottom of the 4th, and now leads the Sterling JV 19-0. So 3 outs away from a run rule victory out there. The Dragon baseball team won the first game here 7-1 and lead 10-0 after 3 in game number 2. And Dylan Nedved back to work. He misses low and in ball 1 to Ben Van Diest. Popped out his first time up. Pitches ball 2-0. This zone is much smaller than what we saw in the first game, the strike zone. Mike Luntz historically has a small zone. There's a strike on the inner half, 2-1 to Van Diest. Mike, one of the veteran umpires in the Jayhawk, has worked many Region 6 tournaments. There's a high fly to right field going back. His rip still going back, now slowing down, has it measured and has it for out number 1. That was a Lake and Preisner too high type of ball. Here's center fielder Darian Aldridge. Lake and Preisner, former basketball player at ACC, used to help us up in the press box at Monarchs games. Strike 1 to Aldridge. One night at a Monarchs game, there was a ball hit just like that. And unknowingly, Lakin dropped the line too high, a la Major League, and didn't even know it. Denny and I were giving her all kinds of credit until we realized she didn't know what she was talking about. Pitch, strike at the knees. Aldridge ran up to bunt it, pulled back, but it's a strike nonetheless, 1-2. Nedved's pitch count at 71. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good late movement on that fastball. 2 up and 2 down. That is now 3 strikeouts for Dylan Nedved, 1 walk, 2 hits. Nedved has allowed 7 base runners, but 4 by error. There's Ellery Rivera, first pitch swinging, fouled off into the parking lot to our right. Through 4 innings in Great Bend, Barton leads Cloud County 8-6. That's a very important game for the Blue Dragons. There's the 0-2 from Nedved. Grounded up the middle. Williams gets to it, throws to first, safe. Good hustle down the line by Rivera for that infield single. Crit made a good run up the middle to get to it. I mean, a strong throw, but Rivera beats it out by a step, and now it's Gage Axline 0 for 2. He reached on an error and grounded to third. Axline had 2 hits in game number 1. Third hit of the game for Pratt, allowed by Nedved. Fastball a little bit low, ball 1. It's now final out at Fun Valley. Hutch softball defeats Sterling JB 19-0. 5-inning run rule. Strike called to Axline, and it's 1-1. So the Dragons win their 30th of the year. Imagine DJ Cannon won her 16th in a complete game win. 1-1 pitch. Strike at the knees. Outside corner, 1-2. Nedved working quickly to pitch. Jam shot. Grounded to third baseman Wyatt Devis. Strong throw, accurate throw, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit. 1 left. The Beavers have stranded 8 through 4 innings. Here we head to the bottom of the 4th. 10-0 Blue Dragons. Julian Rupp to lead off the bottom of the 4th for the Blue Dragons on a 10-0 Hutchinson lead. They won the first game over Pratt 7-1. And a new pitcher into the game for Pratt. is Riley Hill. Right-hander out of Buckner, Missouri. Rip fouls that one off. Rip had a grand slam in the 5-run first. Julian also flew out to center field his last time up, 1 for 2. Rip 2 for 3 in the series. The pitch, a little bit low, 2-1. Brock Schaefer has extended his hitting streak to 13 games. Rip pops that one up. Is it playable or not? The catcher, Axline, couldn't find it, but it's the third baseman, Escamilla, that runs up and gets it for out number 1. Axline never saw it at all. Then finally somebody yelled to look up. Escamilla had it measured the whole time. Dylan Nedved will step in, 1 for 2, a run scored. Singled in the first, reached on an error in the third. 3 hits on the afternoon. He's also working on a 3-hitter through 4 innings on the mound in this one. Change up high, swung through and missed, and it's 0-1. Again, Dylan and Logan Sartori tied for the team lead in hits with 60. And Nedved drives one to right field, coming on his gauge, and he's got it 2 away. Now Crit Williams. Crit has walked and singled, scored a run. The single was a high fly ball to left center field. It landed between Ben Van Diest, left fielder, and Darian Aldridge, the center fielder. That was Crit's 5th hit of the year, and he swings and misses at the Hill offering for strike 1. Pratt with a 9+ ERA as a team coming into this one. Williams gets jammed and it's flared into the Pratt dugout. Caught by one of the players, but they don't count. Again, Blue Dragon softball, a 19-0 5-inning winner over Sterling JV in Game 1. Game 2 coming up out at Fun Valley. The pitch. Pulled foul. That one sizzles right through the people down the left field fence. Hope everybody's okay. Nobody appears to be in any discomfort, but there were a lot of people really not paying attention at that particular moment. Got to be alive at a baseball game for sure. Once again, the 0-2. Slow grounder left side. Rivera to his right, gets to it, throws, and it'll be an infield single for Crit Williams. So Crit's got his first career 2-hit game. And the Dragons try to do more damage with 2 outs. Back to the top of the order, and Brock Schaefer. Dragons in this one 5 for 10 with runners in scoring position, and 7 for 10 with 2 out situations in this game. Schaefer takes a strike on the outside corner. Brock is lined out, flying out, and a 2-run double in the third, part of a 5-run third inning. And a 13-game hitting streak now. He's at 9 RBIs in his last 3 games. They check down, and wow. They check down, and they say Schaefer went around, which is a tough call when you're in second position like that as a base umpire. I personally didn't think Schaefer went around. 0-2 pitch to Schaefer. That's up the middle, and we'll get through for a base hit. Williams will stop at second. Pair of 2-out singles. Dragons now 8 for 11 in 2-out situations. Schaefer with another 2-hit game. His 14th multi-hit game of the year. And it's his, out of the 13-game hitting streak, he's got 7 multi-hit games. Now 4 hits in the doubleheader for Brock Schaefer. Here's Logan Sartori. And a sac fly in the third. He's 0 for 2. Trying to reclaim the hits lead from teammate Dylan Nedved. Pitch in the dirt. Next line with a nice stop. Ball 1 to Sartori. Logan 1 for 6 in the doubleheader so far. A couple of RBIs, both on sac flies. Sartori fooled on that pitch, but it's in the dirt, and the runners will move up on a wild pitch charge to Hill. So now 1-1 count to Logan Sartori. Kurt Williams at third, Brock Schaefer at second. Barton continues to lead 8-6 over Cloud County up in Great Bend. Pitch taken a little bit low, 2-1 to Sartori. If he gets on, it'll be Wyatt Divis. And Divis was getting some throws into the Dragon pen. The pitch. Little jam shot right back to the pitcher, Hill. He'll race toward the bag, underhand flip, and the inning is over. Dragons get a couple on with 2 out, but Strand 2. They've left 7 on through 4 innings. We head to the 5th. 10-0 Hutchinson. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field, everybody. Blue Dragon Baseball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. We head to the 5th inning. Dylan Nedved misses low and in. Ball 1 to Ashton Roy. Roy is 1 for 2 in this one, a single in the first and a ground out. Nedved has allowed no runs on 3 hits, make that 4 hits as Roy dumps one into right field for a base hit. My apologies. So Roy with the leadoff single. He has 2 hits. Pratt was held to just 3 hits in game number 1 by Mike Brown. John Johnson struck out and reached on an error, 0 for 2. Ball 1. Pitch low and outside now. Nedved delivers a fastball right at the knees for a strike, 1-1. Nedved in his 2 starts has gone 5 innings each, so we saw Wyatt Divis throwing in the pen when the Dragons are hitting in the 4th. That pitch, a curveball, bounces in. No advancement as Garrett Stevens smothers it. Dragons about hit Pratt 12-4. Been a 6 combined errors. Ground ball left side. Williams in the hole on to first. Not in time. Good play by Cribb. It'll be an infield single. So Beavers get a little something cooking here in the 5th.
I believe 3 of their 5 hits
Now third baseman Eric Escamilla. Escamilla still looking for his first hit of the series. He's 0 for 5. He swings and misses. Struck out 3 times in the first game, was grounded out and flown out to center. Put a pretty good charge in it that chased Brock Schaefer back a couple steps short of the warning track. Nedved misses low, and it's 1-1 as the pitch count now for Dylan Nedved has reached 87 innings. Matt Hopkins now throwing in the dragon pin.
Number 12 is in their pin.
The line to right field down for a hit, getting to it and watch out. They go to third up the line. Now they may have the runner caught, but scampering back to third is Roy. And the Beavers have him loaded with 3 straight singles here in the 5th. I almost wondered if Rip wasn't loading up to try to get the force at second, but the throw was well high of second and up the line. Good play by Wyatt Davis to go get it. Ryan Schmidt now out to talk to Dylan Nedved. This one is more directed toward the pitcher. His earlier mound visit was more of a pet talk for the entire infield after the 4th error of the game was committed. That has since settled down. But now Dylan Nedved has loaded the bases here in the 5th with 3 straight singles from Roy Johnson and Escamilla. Keaton Gage will be the batter. The conference is over as Mike Lentz breaks it up. Again, just to remind you, Saturday's games, because of the wet forecast scheduled for the Pratt area in jeopardy. We'll let you know tomorrow as a decision will be made in the morning on the status of those games. Right now, if I was a betting man, I would say they'll be played Sunday at Stanton Field in Pratt. Pitch nearly got away from Stevens. He tried to deke the runner like it got past him. Gage has walked and struck out. 0 for 3 in the first game. There's a strike. Nedved optimally would love a comebacker right back to him, a pop-up or a strikeout. That's up the middle. Williams gets to it, flips to Sartori for 1 on the first. That's a double play. Roy will score. No RBI given on that. Now it's a runner at third, 2 away, and Pratt's on the board, trailing 10-1. 6-4-3 ground ball double play. Johnson now at third. And here's Kenneth Gonzalez. A strike called. Winding the pitch. A little bit high, 2-0. Pitch count for Nedved, 93, likely in his last inning of work now. And work as a reliever, the longest he had gone was 2 innings. He's gone 5 2 times in a row as a starter. There's a strike, and it's 3-1 now to Gonzalez.
Hey, Cap, have you heard anything? Is the city doing anything about the scoreboard?
The pitch. Ground ball right side. Sartori far to his left. Fields throws. Does Baxley hook the bag? Yes, he does, and the inning is over.
I told him to his face.
What could have been a very big inning for Pratt turns into just 1 run. They load the bases with nobody out. Gage hits into a double play, and then a fine fielding play by second baseman Logan Sartori and first baseman Zach Baxley. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 left. Halfway through in game number 2. Dragons 10 and the Beavers 1. Trevor Wetzel, a sophomore right-hander from Kansas City, Missouri, takes over on the mound for the Pratt Beavers. He's the fourth pitcher of the afternoon in game number 2. Wyatt Davis will lead it off. According to my stats, Trevor Wetzel has not pitched this year, so he's making his season debut. Wyatt Davis 2 for 3, a solo home run with 2 outs in the first. Hits that one hard, but right at the first baseman, Ashton Roy. And it's 1 away. We expect some changes out of the Blue Dragon lineup momentarily. We saw Scott Wolverton with the bat. He'll probably hit for Garrett Stevens. Here's Bobby Morganson, 2 for 2 with a walk. He singled in the first, walked in the second, and had an RBI double in the third. Breaking pitch for a strike. Dragons with 5 in the first, 5 in the third. Pratt had the makings of a big inning in the 5th. Breaking pitcher is striking very quickly, 0-2 to Morganson. But Dylan Nedved got a 6-4-3 double play. And a great fielding play by Logan Sartori to end the inning with only 1 run scored. The pitch. Way outside, 1-2. Called strike 3. Breaking pitch on the outside corner. So Wetzel's come in pounding the zone. He's gotten Divis and Morganson 2 up, 2 down, and Scott Wolverton will pinch hit for Garrett Stevens. Wolverton started to pick it up with the bat. Now 12 for 31. 231 average, 12 for 52. A home run, 11 RBIs. He's 3 for his last 12. Taking ball 1 from Wetzel. And breaking pitch misses up, and it's 2-0 to Wolverton. And we expect numerous changes here coming up for the Blue Dragons before too long. Swing and a miss. It's 2-1. And Dragons softball a 19-0 winner over Sterling JV in 5 innings. They're about ready to start game 2 out at the Valley. 2-1 pitch. Strike on the outside corner, 2-2. We'll go back through the league and get you caught up on all the action as it pertains to the Dragons. Breaking pitch misses off the plate. Full count to Wolverton. Scotty got off just an atrocious start with the bat. The sophomore from Seward, Nebraska. Breaking pitch, rounded up the middle. Rivera has it, takes his time, he throws, and the Dragons go in order in the 5th. Yes. After 5, 10-1 Blue Dragons. Scott Wolverton stays in the game to catch. He pinch hit in the previous inning, and now Matt Hopkins takes over on the mound for the Blue Dragons for Dylan Nedved. Nedved will stay in the game as a designated hitter. Hopkins, a 5'10", 170-pound freshman from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Hopkins making his 15th overall appearance, 13th in relief, 1-1 record with a 9.70 ERA. 21 in the third innings pitched, 32 hits, 31 runs, 23 were earned. He has struck out 30 and walked 20, and opponents hitting .333 against. But his last two outings have been very promising, as he has allowed no runs over his last 3 innings worked. An inning against Longview on April 12th, and then 2 innings, a one-hit shutout ball on Monday against Northern Oklahoma. Tonkawa. Ben Van Diest lead off the 6th for Pratt, and he fouls the first pitch off to the left. Final line for Dylan Nedved, 5 innings. That ties the season high for innings pitched. 6 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Hopkins just misses the outside corner, and it's a ball and strike to Van Diest, who's 0 for 2 with a pair of fly ball outs. The pitch. A little bit low, 2-1. So Nedved goes the requisite 5 innings if this game goes 9. Right now it's a 10-1 Hutchinson lead. Ball's well hit to right toward the line. Rep on the run, and he chases it down, 1 away. Nice play by Julian. Van Diest 0 for 3, and now Darian Aldridge is the center fielder. Singled in the second, 1 for 2. Good news from Dodge City on the Colby front. Strike 1 to Aldridge. Dawson Tate homers for Dodge City to take a 5-3 Conquistador lead over Colby. Pitch is hit a mile high to shallow center. In comes Brock Schaefer, and there's 2 away. Back to the top of the order. And the shortstop, Rivera, he's 1 for 3, singled in the 4th, his first hit of the series, second hit of the series. Rivera 2 for 6 so far. Strike call. 3 of the 6 hits by the Beavers, infield hits. Pitch high and tight. Big wave and a miss and an off-speed offering from Hopkins. Matt on April 7th, his ERA, or after a game on March 31st, his ERA was 11.57. He's brought it down almost 200 or 2 full runs over his last 3 outings. 2-2 the count to Rivera. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Wolverton will fire down to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Beavers. The first time the Pratt's gone down in order in game number 2. On to the bottom of the 6th, 10-1 Blue Dragons. Score update from Great Bend. Now after 6, Barton leads Cloud County 11-7. So that is good news on the road front. We're going to see some more changes in the Blue Dragon lineup. Right. Ryan Steckline's going to lead it off. He'll pinch hit for Zach Baxley. So right now, looks like Steckline, Julian Rip, and then Dylan Nedved, who stays in the game to be the designated hitter. He was listed as pitcher and designated hitter. He must do so in order to do that. So here's Ryan Steckline, the redshirt sophomore from Hutchinson High School. 217 hitters, 10 for 46 for Steckline. He's got 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. He'll take over at first base, and he takes the first offering from Trevor Wetzel for ball 1 high. Wetzel came in the 5th and worked a 1-2-3 inning against Hutchinson, their first of the afternoon. That pitch from Wetzel sails back to the screen, and it's 2-0 to Steckline. So if these two scores hold true, the Blue Dragons will move into a tie for third with Cloud County at 15-11. Breaking pitch misses, and it's 3-0. Colby won its first game, but trails at Dodge City in the middle stages of that game. So if Colby would happen to come back, there'd be a 3-way tie for third. Steckline draws ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to lead off the 6th. And Julian Rip will be the batter. Rip right now the big blow in this one, a grand slam in the bottom of the first. That first inning, first 2 batters are retired, and the Dragons had 7 in a row reach, scoring 5, capped off by the Rip home run. First pitch swinging, it's hit off the end of the bat, foul. Oh, Father Steckline, can you tell me how many steals Ryan has this year? Pulled foul again.
Somewhere around 0.
You would be correct, sir.
He was credited with one on Game Changer last week that we both knew better.
Yeah, you were the one that told me. Here's the 0-2 to crit. Or to Rip, he swings and misses. Or was it a foul ball? It is a foul ball. Rip's still alive. Yeah, last week up at Longview on Game Changer, I noticed that Ryan had a stolen base, and the first thing I did was text Denny to confirm that. Rip, does he go around? Yes, he does. That's a strikeout. Now 1 away for Dylan Nedved, 1 for 3. 3 hits in the series so far. Scored a run in the 3rd after reaching on an error. Breaking pitch for ball 1. Dylan on today's program cover. There's a swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. So after 6 innings in Great Bend, Barton leads Cloud County 11. So there's a ground ball. Rivera, the shortstop, gets to it, goes to second for 1 on to first double play, and the inning is over. So Nedved hits into a 6-4, 3-inning double play. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. We head to the 7th. 10-1 Blue Dragons. Seventh inning rolls around at Hobart-Detter Field. Steve Carpenter with you, with video coordinator Brandon Sams. Austin Engler on the camera, and Chloe Flynn in the left-handed bucket of curveballs sitting next to her, running the controls. Chloe takes all this ribbing well-natured. We do appreciate her for that. 2-year soccer player for the Blue Dragons was Chloe. Matt Hopkins to work, and he lines one right to third baseman Wyatt Divis. Gage, off the bat of Gage. Jacks line one away. Our cameraman, Austin Engler's, not that he doesn't enjoy baseball, he does, but last time he was in this press box was that 4-hour and 19-minute 28-24 extravaganza against North Iowa area. So Austin was hoping for a much faster paced game. So far he's getting it. Ball one to Ashton Roy. Hopkins with the strike. Hopkins worked a 1-2-3 6th inning. Now he's thrown 4 scoreless innings and continues to improve and be a key part of the Dragon pen. Pitches over but low, 2-1 to Roy. Roy's got 2 of Pratt's 6 hits in this game. They were limited to 3 hits in game number 1 by Matt Brown. There's a swing and a miss, and it's 2-2 to Roy. 10 runs, 12 hits, 4 errors for the Dragons, 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Beavers. That pitch taken low and outside, and it's a full count to Roy. So Johnson waits on deck. Hopkins into the line, the pitch. That's laced to right field, and it's a 3-hit game for Roy.
I think we need to go back to Wah.
We called Ashton Roy Wah, as he is from Canada. When we learned between games, he's not a favorite of French Canadians' names, so he goes with Roy, and ever since we changed it, he's been ripping the ball off the cover, or the cover off the ball.
We'll pretend we didn't hear that, Carter.
Thank you. Here's Johnson, the designated hitter. That's a strike.
11-7 after 6.
Again, 6 innings completing Great Bend. Barton with an 11-7 lead over Cloud County. Cloud won the first game. Pitch inside. Good movement on that fastball. Sounded good as well. It's 1-1. Hutch won 7-1 the first game over Pratt. Garden was a 9-5 loser over to Seward County at Williams Stadium in Garden City. And once hit the right field, down the line in trouble. Drops in, heading for third is Roy. They will be putting the brakes on there. And it's a 1-out double for Johnson. So back-to-back hits with 1 out. Now the third baseman, Eric Escamilla, the batter. Escamilla 1 for 6 in the series. Got his first hit of the series his last time up in the 5th. Pratt loaded the bases with nobody out in the 5th against Dylan Nedved and came away with just 1 run. Pitch to Escamilla is low and in, ball 1. Riley Metzger starts to throw in the Dragon pen. Now it's 2-0 to Escamilla. Pitch misses low. Now 3-0, and Hopkins working himself into a jam of his own. He's given up a couple of hits, but the last thing you want to do with a 9-run lead is start giving free passes. The cripple taking all the way is Escamilla. It's a strike, 3-1. Pratt has left 9 on base. The Dragons have left 7. Line drive, and Williams can't handle it, and it'll go into center field. Now they got to play at third, and the runner Johnson will be put out 6-5. And it'll be a base hit and a run scored. You can't, on a diving attempt, you can't give him the error. But an out recorded on the play, but Roy scores to make it 10-2. Now 2 out for Keaton Gage, the right fielder. Breaking pitch misses outside, ball 1. Gage is 0 for 2, a strikeout, a walk, and a double play. Fastball right down the chute for a strike, 1-1. Dragons will be on the road Tuesday at Redlands in El Reno, Oklahoma. Still trying to find out if Redlands streams. We will not be able to stream those games. Breaking pitch misses low and away, 2-1. Cloud County comes up with 2 runs in the top of the 7th. Barton's lead now down to 11-9 as they reach the middle of the 7th inning at Lawson Biggs Field in Great Bend. The pitch. Low 3-1. Again, a considerably smaller strike zone than what we saw in the first game. Dragon fans getting a little bit antsy because of it. Jam shot, and it was more of a self-defense swing by Gage. Fouled back to the netting. And it's a full count now to Gage. That was a nasty pitch. Escamilla will move on the pitch, 3-2, 2 out. Steckline not holding him on. Runner goes to pitch. Inside, ball 4. A line out, a single, a double, an RBI single, and the runner caught on the bases, and now a walk. It's been a tough inning for Matt Hopkins, who was bidding for 3 consecutive outings without a run surrendered. Now Kenneth Gonzalez, the second baseman, 0 for 3, reached on an error. Big hack foul back to the screen. Hopkins, a breaking pitch, grounded, knocked down by Divis. He's got it, steps on the bag, and the inning is over. So again, the Dragons with some damage control, only 1 run on 3 hits. Beavers strand 2. And we have reached the 7th inning stretch at Hobart-Detter Field, 10-2 Blue Dragons. Score update from Fun Valley. Cameron Pope with a sac fly driving, and Becca Roberts with the first run of game number 2. Hutchinson with a 1-0 lead over the Sterling JV, still hitting the bottom of the first. The Dragons won that first one 19-0 in 5 innings.
How many umpires has Cam taken out today?
Here it's 10-2 Blue Dragons, bottom of the 7th. It'll be Crit Williams in the top of the order, Brock Schaefer and Logan Sartori. If you're like Austin Engler, you want 2 runs here. Ball 1 to Crit Williams, who's been on base all 3 times today. His first career 2-hit games, 2 singles, and a run scored. Pitch outside from Trevor Wetzel. It's 2-0. Wetzel into his 3rd full inning of work. He's blanked the Dragons over his first 2 innings. Breaking pitch, actually a slider. And it's 3-0. Wetzel has a funky 3/4 to sidearm delivery. Throws against his body. Crit's taking all the way for a strike, 3-1. Wetzel's allowed the minimum through 2. He walked Ryan Steckline to lead off the 6th, but then Nedved hit into an inning-ending double play. A couple of strikeouts for Wetzel. Low ball 4. And Williams draws a leadoff walk. On base all 4 times today, and now Brock Schaefer, the batter. Schaefer 2 for 4. Now over his 13-game hitting streak, 24 for 48, and even 500 batting average. 9 RBIs in his last 3 games, and he wears a pitch. And the first 2 are on to start the 7th for the Blue Dragons. So we'll see how the Dragons play it here. They go for the run rule and sacrifice with Logan Sartori, one of their best hitters. Logan's still looking for his first hit of game number 2. He's 0 for 3 with a sac fly. The pitch. Outside for a ball. Again, I was looking through the pitching numbers. And Wetzel has not thrown this year, according to my stats. Slow breaking pitch misses, and it's 2-0. Wetzel's thrown 29 pitches, the 30th coming up. Only 13 for strikes, but he's kept the Dragons off balance. Upstairs to Sartori, 3-0. Divis and Morganson to follow. Divis was the first batter that Wetzel faced when he entered into the 5th. The pitch. Sartori taking all the way. It's a strike, 3-1 the count. Sartori trying to extend a 7-game hitting streak of his own. 10 for 27 over that stretch. And he takes high ball 4 to load the bases with nobody out. Eric Thompson comes out of the bullpen. Luquan Ali, a freshman from Kansas City, Missouri, a right-hander, throwing in the pen. According to Denny Steckline, he just started working in the pen. So the Dragons have 1 grand slam already today from Julian Ripp. Now Wyatt Divis gets set to face Trevor Wetzel. He's now walked 3 and struck out 2. Wetzel's yet to allow a hit. Oh. As far as we know, hasn't allowed a hit this season. The one thing about Danny Steckline down there, Danny Steckline's kind of like the FCC. He's always watching out and listening for what you say to make sure things are on the up and up. So now here's Divis with the bases loaded, 10-2 Blue Dragons. The outfield has come in way shallow, trying to cut runs up the infield to double play depth, and it's ball 1 to Divis. Davis is the 10th batter Wetzel has faced. The pitch. Slider for a strike, 1-1. The pitch inside nearly got away from the catcher Axline. It's 2-1. Right now, if you're the Dragons, you're basically looking one pitch, one zone, as wild as Wetzel has become. Here's the 2-1, way outside, 3-1 to Davis. Davis in the first inning, his 10th home run. Dragons have out-hit Pratt 12-8. Committed 4 of the 6 errors. They can pitch. Did it hit him? It hit him. And that'll drive in a run to make it 11-2. A bases loaded hit by pitch to Davis. Crit Williams scores. And now it's 11-2. And the potential game-ending run at third base with nobody out and Bobby Morganson the batter. Kiera DeCrane just hit a 3-run home run for the Blue Dragons softball team. That snapped a 17-game homerless streak for her. They now lead at 4-0 in the bottom of the first. Ball 1 to Bobby Morganson here. Schaefer, the potential game-ending run at third, outside ball 2. Infield in now, trying to cut the runoff and extend the game for the Beavers. This is about as shallow as you'll ever see an entire defense play. 2-0 pitch. Outside, 3-0. And Trevor Wetzel has become very frustrated, I think, with himself. He's totally lost his command in this 7th inning. The cripple pitch outside, ball 4, and that's your ball game. Morganson with the bases loaded walk. Schaefer scores. And the ball game is over. Hutchinson wins 12-2 on a walk-off walk. They sweep the doubleheader, winning the first one 7-1. Second game 12-2. We'll wrap it up right after this. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field, everybody. Steve Carpenter with you, the Blue Dragon Postgame Show. Hutchinson gets a needed sweep today, defeating Pratt by the scores of 7-1 and 12-2 in 7 innings. The Blue Dragons now improved to 29-17 overall, a season-high 12 games over 500, but more importantly, 15-11 in the league. In our last checks, we'll check Twitter here real quick. Dodge City Baseball gets a home run to start the 6th for Colby. And kind of hard to, I think Dodge City leads 6-4. Kind of hard to really discern that tweet. And then
Very clear. They just say makes the score what to what.
And Barton with a 2-run lead in the 7th inning over over Cloud County. Here's an update. Yep, it's 11-9. Now in the bottom of the 8th, and Barton has runners at the corners. So we'll check one more time before we break off the air. Here are the totals for the just completed ball game. For the Blue Dragons now, 12 runs, 12 hits, 4 errors, 7 left on base. For the Beavers, 2 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors, 11 left on base. Dylan Nedved, the winning pitcher, he is now 4-0. Declan Steele takes the loss. He's 1-2. Time of ball game, 2 hours and 8 minutes. Blue Dragons jumped early on this one, getting a solo home run from Wyatt Divis, his 10th of the year. And then Julian Ripp, a grand slam as the Dragons, after the first 2 batters were out, had 7 in a row reach base, 5 scoring, 4 on the Rip grand slam. They made it 5-0 after 1. Dragons sent 10 to the plate and scored 5 in the 3rd. A 2-run double by Brock Schaefer as Brock extends his hitting streak now to a team-high 13 games. Now 9 RBIs in the last 3 games for Brock. He finished 2 for 4 on the afternoon. And the Dragons allowed single runs in the 5th and 7th and ended it on a bases-loaded hit by pitch to Wyatt Divis, and then a bases-loaded walk to Bobby Morganson. And the Dragons run rule Pratt by the score of 12-2. Pitching-wise, Dylan Nedved matched the season-high 5 innings pitched, 6 hits allowed, 1 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Matt Hopkins works 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, a strikeout, and a walk. Offensively for the Dragons, 4 different players had multi-hit games in a 12-hit performance. Brock Schaefer, 2 for 4 with a double, 2 runs and 2 RBIs. Wyatt Divis, a home run, 2 for 4, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. Bobby Morganson, 2 for 3, a couple of RBIs, a double, and a run scored. And Crit Williams, his first career multi-hit game, going 2 for 2 with 2 runs, and also walked twice on base all 4 times. Julian Ripp, career high 4 RBIs with that grand slam. So the Dragons get the wins here today, 7-1, 12-2 in 5 innings. And as we've been saying all afternoon long, that the status of Saturday's games right now unclear because of the potential precipitation supposedly coming in. And so they will make a decision in the morning, and we'll have that for you on Blue Dragon social media when we get the word. Right now, it looks like Colby has a 7-4 lead over Dodge City. So that's not helping the Blue Dragons, but if Barton holds on and Colby holds on, there'll be a 3-way tie for 3rd place with Cloud County, Hutchinson, and Colby. You can keep up to track of all those on the Jayhawk Conference website. But we're done here. Earlier this year, we played one single game that took 4 hours and 19 minutes. This doubleheader takes 4 hours and 30 minutes to complete, and the Dragons get 2 victories. So for Brandon Sams, Austin Engler, and Chloe Flynn running the controls, Steve Carpenter from Hobart-Detter Field, thank you for joining us. Final scores, game number 1, Hutchinson defeats Pratt 7-1. And the second game, the Dragons defeat the Beavers 12-2 in 7 innings. We'll talk to you again soon. So long, everybody.